Here at Authentic Edge Consulting, we acknowledge that our work takes place on unceded lands of the traditional Aboriginal custodians, the Yugambeh language peoples within the Gold Coast of Australia. We also invite you to reflect on the land you live and work on and encourage you to research and learn about its traditional custodians.
Welcome to Authentic Life and Business, the podcast where we delve into the journey of staying true to yourself while building a thriving business. I'm your co-host, Anna.
And I'm Tanga. Each week, join us as we uncover powerful insights, share transformative strategies, and tell inspiring stories to help you create a business that not only aligns with your values, but also amplifies your impact.
Welcome back to another episode. We're talking into how to build a positive and encouraging space for success. So this is from our perspective and just sharing some of our personal experiences and maybe some tips as well on your environment and why it's so important. So I'll let Tanga kick us off.
Oh, my mind is going off because there's so many layers to environment. Environment could be just the physical environment, the relational environment, your home environment, your office environment. And if I think back initially, there was when we were transitioning from working in the office to working at home, there was this huge thing, and I think it came up through, it was one of the themes that would come out of the pandemic period. And that was, when do you draw boundaries around the time that you start and the time that you finish? And so for me, part of that that positive environment was to physically walk through the setting up and then the turning off. And then I found my energy. If I was setting up, I'm stepping into the mode. I'm putting the hat on that is my working hat. And so all of your energy moves with that as well. And then the interesting thing, and I would say this to people when I was in the office, when we worked in and out of the office, people would say, how come you get to turn off? And one of the things that I always did was I would never keep my laptop open on the desk. I would literally pack it down into the bag and put it into the boot and close the boot. And the boot closing was the action, like I'm off. I've switched off. Yep. And so the next thing that I play was music that would really relax me, and that sort of thing. So find a habit or routine that would allow your body to move with that change.
Yeah. And I guess for people who may have their own business or who may be working from home, they may find that sort of difficult. So it's really important to find certain actions that to your mind signals, right, okay, yep, we're finishing up. So my home office is right next to my bedroom. So it is really, I found it quite challenging initially because I could just, wake up in the morning, go straight to the office and start work. Or, I forgot to do something, so I'll just go walk back into the office and do what I need to do. So just having some actions in place that sort of, again, signal to my brain that it's the end of the day. And for me, it was the same thing as Tanga. It's closing my laptop down. That means it's the end of the day. It's time to go spend time with, my family. So that's a really good one. It's just what are some things that you can do that will signal to your brain that you're done.
Yeah.
But yeah, speaking about environment, it's huge for me. Physical environment, as I get older, it just becomes more and more crucial to my mood, my energy levels, everything. So I'm really quite big on having, less clutter. I went through a real minimalism phase, Tanya, you know about this, where I just did a massive cull of a lot of material things because I found that the more things that I had around me, I just felt more cluttered in my mind and I couldn't think straight. So physical environment is probably a big thing for me,
Mm.
is making sure that, my physical space is clean, there's no clutter, and we're good.
Yeah, and that comes back to that flow, hey?
Yes. Yeah.
So if you've got cluttered things, that flow of being able to pick something up and know that it's there
Mm.
can really impact on your flow because all of a sudden now, you know this, I think we all go through this, you get flustered.
Yes. Yeah.
And so, just even if you try to refocus on what you're doing, your mind is still looking for that thing.
Mm, mm,
So, and that's one thing that I've learned a lot of. Just before Sam and I decided to live a nomadic life, we literally trained our systems to get used to living out of one bedroom. So everything that we owned
mhm.
came down to what was in that one bedroom.
Yeah.
And so we were forced to get rid of things and offload. And as much as I thought didn't have an attachment to things,
Mm.
it was that offloading each thing that we let go of. I was like, oh, okay, that was okay. Now I can look at, now I don't really need this now. And we learned that from Anna
Yeah.
because she went through that minimalist phase and she would go through open up my pantry and go, oh my gosh, there's stuff from years ago.
Mm.
And, when you find yourself thinking, oh, I'm going to have it there for if I need it. And the chances are you probably don't, or it probably makes more sense just to pick up another one.
That's it. Yeah. So I have this little rule, and I think I learnt it from the Minimalists, which is they've got their own podcast and YouTube channel.
Um,
But I remember them saying if something cost you less than $20 and you're umming and ahhing if you should keep it or not, just get rid of it
yeah,
because it's taking up more space and more energy for you to keep looking at that thing than what it's worth. So just get rid of it.
I just had a visual come up in the traveling sense because, of course, if when you're traveling, you know that luggage costs money. So if you go over a certain weight,
Yeah.
then they will sting you if you haven't already purchased that weight, the higher weight.
Mm.
So that's almost how we look at things now. When Sam and I got to, just before we came into customs, we said, wait, we're taking back clothes that are only for this season. That
Mm.
is going to be a different season we get to the other side. So we might as well just donate that to the people here that need it.
Yep.
And that was such a good feeling. So we actually gave a bag to the cleaner and she was like so grateful because
Wow.
there were new towels in there and there were really nice things that we knew that we wouldn't need.
Mm.
But yeah, that was just something that came up.
That's cool. That's cool. And you mentioned earlier, environment isn't just your physical environment. So how can you look at environment in different perspectives, and how can you improve that so that it's in line with personal growth,
Mm.
professional growth, your business um, goals that you have? What sort of environment do you have? And so I really want us to sort of delve into the environment of people.
Mm.
And we touched on this a few episodes ago, but I would like us to go a little bit deeper into that in terms of who is it that you're surrounding yourself with?
Mm.
And is it in line with the future you?
Yeah.
And how do you, if they're not, what do you do? Right? You know, if it's your partner, for example,
Mm.
and your partner is not supportive of the decisions or the vision that you have, what do you do? What
Mm.
do you end it? Is that it? Do you
Yeah.
cut ties with these people? Like, what are some things for you, Tanga, that have been helped you, and have you experienced that?
Oh my goodness. This has been a huge journey. And I know that a lot of people will resonate with this journey too, because um, the reality is if you have a dream that you want to work towards, then the people that matter are the ones that will lift you up towards that.
Yeah.
Right. And sometimes you don't even realize when the people that you think that you need around you are supportive or not. And the interesting thing that we learnt was, and I've learnt from experience, is if you're talking about your dream to someone who's not going to support it, it's going to be a huge, massive drag on you because you're going to be trying to balance things out and almost burn yourself out trying to do that.
Yes. Yep.
But the ones that will adjust and then get on with you, I mean, sometimes there might be a learning curve for them
Mm.
because remember, you might have explored what you want to do and you might be, let's say, a year ahead in that idea that your partner hasn't really been part of the journey with you.
Mm.
And so, if your partner really wants to join with you and support you, you're going to be educating your partner
Mm.
in the things that you know so that that helps them support you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I think there's a piece where you get to know that. And you've intuitively, you will know
Mhm.
whether your partner is going to, with the same information that you've had, will they support you? And I think that's a really good question.
Yeah.
If they had the same exposure to the information that I've had, would they be supportive?
Mhm.
And is it worth your investment in to do that? That's a tough one.
That's a real tough one, and there's so many, different, um yeah, I mean, it just depends. It's such a personal topic, we
Yeah.
can't give black and white,
No.
answers and, you fit this box or this category, therefore this is what you should do.
Yeah.
But these are sort of just some things to consider,
Yeah.
to ponder on, and hopefully you find that helpful. But um and we again, we touched on this a couple of episodes ago where I think, Tanya, you mentioned it, where you are the average of the 5 people that you spend
Mm,
your time with. So have a look around. Who is it? Who are your 5 people that you're surrounding yourself with? And are they in line with the person that you're wanting to grow into? And so if they're not, what do you do? You know, for me, income, money is a big thing for me. So lucky for us, we have technology. We can
mm,
connect with so many different networks that we wouldn't previously have been able to connect with before. So if you're wanting to scale your business, you're wanting to 10x your income, but you're hanging out with people that are still on, 50, 60,000 a year, but you're wanting to go to half a mil, a
mm.
mil, uh, what do you do? Well, one solution would be, where are the people that are earning that sort of income? Where do they hang out? And then go and hang out with them.
Yeah. Yeah. We were talking about that before, where
Yep.
the communication around earning, 6 figures a month is
Mm.
just normal.
Yes. Yep.
They normalize
Yep.
high income
Yep.
and value.
Yeah. And that, I know, Tanga, when you had mentioned some income, some figures, at one stage I was like, oh, like I felt that
Mm,
something heavy, the energy just sort of changed when there was this resistance.
mm,
When you start hanging around groups and individuals where it's normal for them to be hitting these sort of income, monthly income goals, it just becomes normal.
yeah.
Like, for example, there was a call that I was on with a group, a network of people that we're involved with. And one person was saying, I 20,000, 20,000, this one client, just closed that deal. And the response was, oh, okay, cool. That's good. Well done.
Yeah.
That was it. But you go into a normal 9 to 5 environment where, 60, $70,000 salary per year, that's the norm.
Mm,
$20,000 in one call
mm,
for one client,
yeah.
and you've got 16, 20 clients behind you.
Yeah.
That's not normal.
No. And the reaction for many people that aren't used to that would be, yeah, whatever.
Yeah. Yep, that skepticism starts coming in.
Yeah.
So that's definitely one tip, and something that I've had to learn over time is, if you can't surround yourself physically, whether it's family, friends, with people who are, the version that you're wanting to step into, well, you need to be looking at getting into different networks online.
Yeah.
We've got the internet now where you can connect with people globally. There is no reason why you can't just jump on Facebook. School, SKOOL, Alex Hormozy's new platform that he's got. That's another really good place
Mm,
to
mhm.
find people to hang out with who are hitting these sort of income goals. So if income is something that you're striving towards, I'd strongly encourage you to do that.
Yeah.
Explore that option.
And, you will know what's a fit for your values as well and your mission. So the ones that we gravitate towards have mission.
Yep.
They're mission driven, they're passion driven,
Mhm.
and they focus on lifting humanity, you
Yes.
know. And so that's a really important value for us in what we do as well. So, you know, um, being able to get into those environments that are conducive with you moving in the direction that you want to is
Yeah.
such a big piece.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a big
Absolutely.
piece.
And something that keeps coming up for me is having a duty to do something.
Oh, yeah.
And we spoke about this for a family member of ours that you were connected with during your travels. Is this particular family member has a wealth of knowledge in a certain topic and wanting to start a business around this.
Mm,
So it's almost like you have the skill set, you have a duty to your
yeah.
community,
This
to
is bigger than
humanity.
you. This
Exactly.
is bigger
It's
than you.
bigger than you know, getting out of the way and just realizing that, you've got a specialty or a skill set that you need to share with the community.
Mm,
So, and just quickly touching on what I had mentioned in a previous episode is especially for my coaches and my therapists, charging your worth so
yeah.
that you can stay in this space for long
Mm,
term, and yeah, serve more people,
yeah.
have more
Yeah.
impact. So it's
And
bigger
there's
than
a
you.
skill around that. That's a teachable skill to price your worth
Yeah.
so that your offer is an offer that the person that you can help the most
Mhm.
is looking for a way to invest. If they don't have the resources, they will find the
Find a way.
resources
Yeah.
in a way that they can create the change that they also are, the mission that's driving them.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
so it has that flow on effect. So when you know that you have a certain gift that you are serving on a higher level,
Yeah.
most of the time it's ourselves getting in the way. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there are resources available out there. There are skills that we can teach around how do you price something so that it's a no brainer. I mean,
Yes.
we've come through that ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah. And taking yourself out of the equation too, I think
Mm.
helps. Not assuming that, um, I can only charge X amount because I want to make sure it's affordable for this
Oh,
audience.
yeah.
How do you know what is
Yeah.
affordable to them?
Yeah.
you know? So I think that's another thing. And again, that's just based on personal experience, is trying to
Yeah.
price on my assumptions,
Yeah.
trying to make it affordable for people based on what I assume the audience would be able to afford.
Yeah.
And that's just not, I mean, gosh, if there's a funeral or something, people find a way
Yeah.
to bring the money together. It
Yeah.
just is all based around priorities
Yeah.
and how the desire,
Yeah.
to make something happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the interesting thing that we've learned and continue to learn is if there are metrics that we can work on that will show what piece of your funnel is needs to be rejigged.
Yeah.
So if there are certain things that are happening and you could be attracting the right audience, but your office crap. You need to just we work on building up that office so that it covers all of the things that they would invest
Mhm.
in, right? And the other thing is you might have a strong offer, but you're going to the wrong audience.
That's it.
So there's some really key KPIs and metrics that can identify those areas to work on.
Mm.
Don't think that, say for argument's sake, your social media posting, you might have lots of value, but because you might be missing certain layers in the way that you post,
Mhm.
um, you know, Meta, we know algorithms won't share it. So
Yes.
it just means your audience are not seeing it.
So many different pieces to that puzzle,
Yeah.
when it comes to, like, marketing and whatnot. It's just
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, that's a bit of our input and our advice and tips. Is there anything else that you wanted to
Yeah,
cover?
I think what's just come up for me is when we talk about environment, I really love the way that we can really talk about how that feeds through into other areas of
Yes.
your business,
Yeah.
because that's what it's about. Whilst we are focusing on certain pieces,
Mhm.
it has that flow on effect
Yeah.
through the business.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, again, if you don't know what we do, we are Authentic Edge Consulting. Tung and I have our own consulting business. This is what we can go through with you. So if you are looking to scale your business and you need some advice and some support on how to integrate AI, that was another episode, integrate AI to help save you time, money. Um, Reach out to us. You know, this is our stuff. We love talking about it. So we'd love to be able to support you as well.
Amazing.
Amazing.
Love it.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We will be back next week for our
Woohoo.
next episode. Thanks for joining us today. If you liked this episode, please hit subscribe and let us know in the comments below if there's a topic you'd like us to discuss in the upcoming episode. If we're not already connected on the major socials, you can find us at Authentech Edge Consulting. We'll see you in the next episode.